Welcome to another Throwback Thursday. I am Joanna Bronson with A-Hole Productions, and I am so excited to share with you my experience of Michael Caine's autobiography, The Elephant to Hollywood. If you don't know who Michael Caine is, please stop everything and Google him right now. You can find his interviews, you can find his past classes from when he was in England, you can find his books. He's an incredible actor. Has his IMDb credits are pages long. If there's anyone you can learn from, it's definitely Michael Caine. And his autobiography touched me so much. I have a bunch of quotes written down that I want to read to you guys, some little tidbits that I learned that might be helpful to you guys on your journey. So let's dive in. Here's some of the things that I loved about his book. Some of my favorite quotes, he goes into talking about being a leading actor versus being a movie star, and the different control and the art that goes into it, and the different characteristics of walking onto set as a leading man or leading movie star. There's definitely a depiction about the difference between European work and American work. One of the biggest things is he was talking about touring and marketing for films. And he spoke on the fact that he was going like 24/7, and he would wake up at like 4 a.m. having to go to the first talk of the day. And his agent, he didn't want to get up. He was tired of it. He hated touring. And his agent said to him, like, in America, if you want to be a movie star, you got to get up. And it was just his perspective, and he's just so funny and quick-witted about, there are certain things in life that I find as a person that you have the luxury of certain things, and in certain industries, being an actor is definitely a luxury. I'm grateful for it every day, and he talks about that and the things that you get as an actor, as you become more renowned and people start to recognize who you are, the things that come with that, but also coming from incredible, humble beginnings and the different family structures that he grew up in, and his kids and his legacy for them. So I highly recommend. Here are a couple more quotes that really touched me. On the acting stuff, he goes into some technique things that are really helpful for actors. For example, in close-ups, you want to look at one eye of the scene partner to focus on. Look at the eye closest to the camera so you get the most face on camera. Oh, I love this one. Don't do frontal nudity. He says acting is all about control. Once you do it, no one is watching you. They're seeing the nudity. And if you ever do it, don't move. Another one of my favorites. You gotta have humor about yourself. You must have charisma. There are no heroes in war. He talks about his time in the service, and then coming up in the industry, he was talking about when they started depicting these wars in movies and the way it's glamorized in Hollywood and what it actually is when you're in the field of battle. I never do a dangerous stunt on the last day of the picture. You may be on stage and have no lines, but you should be listening and reacting, which he goes on to talk about. That is what most acting is your reaction and listening and being present for the other character within the scene. A drunk man is a man trying to act sober. I see this in a lot of acting classes where people have to act drunk and they're all over the place and they're sloppy and falling. And yes, there's some of that in drunkenness, but the clever drunk person is the person who is drunk but trying to act sober. So basically, you get pulled over, you sober up real quick when that cop's starting to talk to you. I do not promote drinking and driving, just something from my early 20s that I learned, unfortunately. He was lucky enough to talk to a lot of celebrities and get advice from people when he was coming up in the industry, and he worked with John Wayne, and this is John Wayne's advice to him. He said, "Don't wear suede shoes. Talk low and slow." The suede shoes had to do with someone actually on the street peeing on his shoes one day. His press agents and going to the Chinese theater and the history behind that. It's a great part of Hollywood history in there. Anniversaries aren't important. It's celebrating the love every day that counts. And talking about his wife and talking about relationships, he goes into how to make that work while you're in the industry, as well as just being a good human. I think he touches a lot on love and understanding and the things that he had to learn as a man growing up, and the things that affected him and the way he became an empathetic person. Something that was funny that was in the book, they were talking about him and his friend. They decided to go clubbing one night, and they were older at the time, and clubbing is I find, even for me, is a 20-year-old game. Like, clubs are fun, and there are adult clubs, and there are things that you can do. But he was in a club that had been revamped from its original state, where it used to be kind of a lounge, low-key place where you go and talk and have a cocktail and coffee. And then they went to the new place, and he said, his friend says to him, "Why is the music so loud?" And the answer was, "Because young people have nothing to say." Terribly cruel, but hilarious, I thought. You know, having empathy and talking to people who have different backgrounds and perspectives, and talking to someone, I believe, that had a language handicap, unable to communicate his ideas. And so this was something that rang really solid, I felt. It wasn't that he couldn't speak, it was that I was incapable of hearing what he had to say. Also talking on empathy again. Great book. And my final last quote from this book that I will definitely take with me on my journey as an actor: "If you're going to work on a bad movie, make sure it's in a great location." Michael Caine is a legend, and I hope that you've taken the time to check out his work. He has classes, he has books, he has so much available online for you to check out, and it's very true and stays current. I hope you check it out. Like I said, Michael Caine is the man. Thank you, Michael Caine, for all your work, and I hope this was helpful to you guys. Here at A-Hole Productions, we're trying to facilitate free content and information for you guys to inspire you on your journey. So if you liked it, please share. That's all that we ask. Leave comments and questions below. Is there other Michael Caine things that you got that you want me to check out? Let me know. I've seen almost all his films. He's incredible. Make a month of it. Watch his films. See his interviews. Take note. Thanks for watching, A-Holes. I'll see you next time.